Hello, 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 everyone, and good morning. Welcome to Wow Wednesday. I am your host, Nancy Matthews. I'm one of the founders of Women's Prosperity Network, and it is our pleasure to bring you this midweek boost of motivation, education, and inspiration to keep you moving forward, excited about your life, about your goals, about the impact that you're here to make. And today I have the privilege of introducing you to one of our members who has been part of our community since pretty much the beginning. I think we met originally in 2008 or 2009. And Anja Weinberg is with us today, and we're going to be talking about how you can thrive from home. And we're excited to bring her. Before I bring on Anja, let me share a couple of quick Women's Prosperity Network announcements. First of all, yesterday, I want to say kudos to all of our members who showed up for our coaching and connections corner. That was a powerful, powerful experience. And for everyone who's a member, you mark your calendar for the first Tuesday of every month. Coming up on the third Tuesday of the month, we have Networking with a Twist. So be sure to go to our events calendar at womensprosperityNetwork.com and see all the great ways that we've created for you to come together, to connect, to collaborate, and create lasting relationships, just like me and Anja. So isn't that fun? And then, of course, we've got our monthly masterminds. We have some special events coming up this month. So once again, be sure to check that out at womensprosperityNetwork.com. And now I am going to bring on my friend Anja. So today we're going to be talking about thriving from home. And this message runs deep for all of us, especially as the world has shifted and so many of us are not only playing at home and building our families at home, we're also working from home. And home has taken on a whole new different meaning. And there's a lot of juggling that can happen with that. So I'm so glad that Anja is with us today. Let me share a little bit about her background, and then we'll jump right into the conversation. So first, Anja Weinberg is a wellness expert, strategist, and a community connection catalyst. Her clients learn strategies and nature-inspired solutions, supporting people to feel rejuvenated, more connected to themselves, to others, and to nature and our food, so that health and well-being will be improved on a continual daily basis. Health is the new wealth, and home is where your health and wealth thrive. So welcome, Anja.
Good morning, everyone. I'm so happy to be here. I'm so glad that we get to share this in this inspirational conversation, impacting our communities, impacting our families. Thank you, Nancy.
You are most welcome. It's my pleasure. And I'll tell you, Anja, every time I think about you and what you're up to and your mission, I am reminded of a time rewinding all the way back. I think it was in 2008. We were hosting a happy hour at a local Irish pub. And you and I were sitting, so it's probably 14, 15 years ago. You and I were sitting at the corner of the bar, connecting and getting to know each other. And I asked you, what's your vision? What's your passion? And your passion, well, go ahead, share your passion, because I've been moved since that day.
Well, it's funny when we really truly connect with another, how it has that little impact. And it's not this huge conversation, because our conversation was not a huge, long conversation, but it was so impactful because I remember that day. And it was really about finding connection from here so we can be connected in the surroundings around us. And for me, the connection really starts from just beingness to the food that we prepare, to the connection we have with the family, the connection we have with nature. It's just really all coming back to here, home with oneself.
Beautiful, beautiful. And you have created your whole business about, being a wellness expert and a wellnesspreneur. I love that phrase. And how did that whole transition happen for you to make it your business? Because that wasn't your original background.
It actually wasn't. No, if you hear by my accent, I grew up in the northwestern part of Germany, right on the Dutch border, on a small family homestead. And I grew up very connected to nature. We had animals. We had a family homestead. We grew our own food. So I always thought a big family would be in my in my future. And my first degree in Germany actually was in hospitality management. And I kind of got to the glass ceiling in corporate Germany. And I thought, if I learn English just a little bit better, I'm more marketable in that area. And I had an opportunity to come to America and move here for a year. And things are just a little different in America. For anybody from someplace else that can relate, when you have a perspective of having lived somewhere else or coming from somewhere else, often the contrast is so stark. And that's what I found for myself, that really how, once I decided to move here, what came out of that is what would the next 10, 15, 20 years look like for myself and having a family? What would that really look like? And it was actually another point of a connected conversation with fellow moms. And Daniel, our son, was probably about 2 or 3 years old at that time. And we were in a group of women, moms, and I overheard one friend saying, well, and I am just a stay-at-home mom. Mm. And it just hit me so profoundly. I love the idea of moms nurturing their family. And I have great value, but just the way she said that, she wasn't proud of that.
No, she was discounting it.
Really? Yes, she was discounting it. And that's exactly the point, because I love that moms have now, especially with the way we can do business, we have options. And if we want to be home and raising our family and be in business at the same time, we can do that. So out of that, I kind of just decided, I don't want to be a just anything ever again. And out of that came that day, I'm like, you know what? If I don't want to be that, what do I really want to be? And out of that, from intuition and tapping into it, came, I want to be a Thrive from Home mom. And out of that, my business, Thrive from Home, was born, and bringing everything, all my expertise together and what I really stand for.
Beautiful, beautiful. And if we look at this Thrive from Home concept, especially coming from another country where home is different, right? The foods we eat, the rituals we have here in the United States, I think we're all familiar with this hectic, fast-paced society. And, when was the last time you sat down and had a meal with your family? One of the traditions, and I want to thank my mom for this, because I remember growing up as a teenager, I was the youngest in the family, and my brothers and sisters had moved out. And at least once a month, she held a Sunday family dinner where we all got together and we laughed and we fought and we got irritated with each other and had a great time as well. So, and I am grateful I've been able to continue on this Sunday family dinner tradition, especially as, we're spread so far apart. But it's one of the things that the society and this environment we live in can pull us away from, instead, watching TV or being on your devices. So give us some Thrive from Home tips. And then we've got several layers to talk about with you today. So let's start with that, some Thrive from Home tips.
Sure. I mean, for most of us, especially in the last couple of years, if your life has been anything like mine, our homes, like you said before, have become home offices, homeschooling environment, home business environment. And we've really been pulled away a little bit. And coming back to that connection again, whether it's with family or with yourself, is just really, it fuels us. It's one of the layers of helping our homes to make it a sanctuary where we can really truly rejuvenate our body. So some of the tips is when we start with family dinner is really have family dinner. You know, for me, I love cooking from scratch, but that's also one of my backgrounds. It doesn't need to be complicated. Bring in food, but have meaningful conversations. And then, you know, as we look in the home environment that has been so convoluted, now the Environmental Protection Agency says that we are finding now that people have up to 700 contaminants in their body, in their bloodstream, just from being in our home environment. And the indoor air is 2 to 4 times more toxic than outdoor air. And
well, wait a minute. Wait a minute. My home is where I'm supposed to be safe.
I know.
So how is it that the air inside my home is more toxic than the air outside my home? How does that happen?
Yeah, that is such a vital question, such an important question, because we led to believe by using certain products, it makes the home cleaner, healthier, safer. And it actually is detrimental to our health. It's really, we're making our homes toxic. You know,
in my mind, as you're saying that,
yes,
Lysol spray kills 98% of germs. Well, what else is it killing is what just came to mind, right?
Exactly. It kills all the health aspects. You know, there is natural things we can use, and I'm not going to go into all the different things, but sometimes it's just what we can start eliminating. For example, when I work with clients, and one of the backgrounds that I got into moving into the United States was interior design. And so when we looked into some of the culprits of what impacts our home air, it often is dryer sheets is right on the top of the list.
Really?
And yes, and I don't know if a lot of people know this. You can very simply substitute it. They sell wool balls. I work with other consultants that specialize in those kind of things, or tennis balls, stick them in your dryer. You know, there is things that we can easily eliminate. And that's where it starts. You know, what can we take away without making things unhealthy or unsafe? We want to make it healthier. One of my big pet peeves, and this is a great thing that I work with families, especially if we're talking about families that might have somebody that has asthma, breathing challenges, concentration problems. You know, there's all kinds of labels around that. But if you experience a lot of brain fogginess, check what you're using in your home. It could be the little plugins that we all love that makes everything smell so nice. But here's a great tip, because I'm all about, yeah, this is so bad, but what can we do to make it more health conducive and better? Put a little on your stove, a little pot with some water, put an orange slice in, put some clove, you know, a cinnamon stick. It will clear the air like nobody's business. And it is so simple. I'm all about what can we do right here, right now to make an impact for ourselves, for our family. It doesn't need to be complicated. You know, of course, turn the stove off when you leave the house. You don't want to have that running all day long, but it just sets a tone, and the scent is beautiful. Just play around with some things. And of course, you can always reach out.
Right, because this is what you specialize in, is showing people how to make simple changes. One of the things inside of their home so that it is healthier, non-toxic. And when we think about, you know, brain fog, concentration, irritability, allergies, all of that stuff, we're probably looking at so many places to find what's causing this. And yes, it could be your food, but let's take a look at what are the chemicals that are in the air that you can't see, right? These invisible things that could be causing the challenge.
Absolutely. And you know what? One of the things that we can always remember is your air and water always get filtered. If you are not using a filter, you and your body become the filter. Let that sink in. If you're not using a filter, your body is the filter.
Yuck. When I think about that, like what's in my body, right? I have it.
Yes.
I know one of the product lines that you work with is called Neekin, right? And I have their water filter, and I also have the shower filter. So, because when I heard you say that, I was like, wait a second, the water that I'm putting on my body, oh yeah, that should be filtered, because isn't the skin one of our largest organs?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
it is. And everything that we put on the skin impacts. And you know what? There's always getting started with where you are, with what you got, and then what's the next step of improving and what's the next greater step. So we can always improve ourselves, our home, our environment. You know, that's the beautiful thing of being a human being. You're not stuck. You know, you want to create a change, get up and do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And having people such as Anja to support you in the process. Yeah. Let's talk about, so we've family dinners is one way to thrive from home. What are some other ways that we can thrive from home to create that happy, balanced environment where we're spending so much of our time?
Really creating a setting for yourself. Yes, family dinner. And I think we kind of glanced over that a little bit. But what nurtures us? You know, I'm a big fan of mind, body, home. And for me, it's also creating a setting, a stage where I can sit just by myself without my family and create that space of like a sanctuary for me, if that makes sense. You know, it can be a chair in the corner that has the perfect light where you can read a book, or, you know, creating for yourself and for every family member a space or corner like that. For some, it's outdoors. You know, I'm a big fan of walking in nature and connecting to nature and bringing that inside. You know, there's a lot of things besides the air that we breathe and using filter systems. I'm a big fan of bringing nature inspired solutions in the home, because I'm a big believer in that you can't make things healthier by putting more toxins in there. You know, you mentioned before Lysol, Clorox. Yes, maybe that cleans everything so purely, but it's also not health conducive. So I think that's a big point. And how do we shift everything around so that it makes sense and we start the day off kind of where our home supports us right from the get-go as we get up? You know, the sleep that we experience. How do we sleep? And, you know, that's one of my expertise, and I do a lot of education around sleep, because most people think it's, 8 hours. If I don't get my 8 hours. Well, to be honest, it's not really that we need the 8 hours of length. We need the certain hours in the deep REM sleep, the restorative sleep, where we go beyond all the thinking and all that, where the body really recuperates and rejuvenates. Because the body's job during the night is to de-stress, detox. And I know guys sweat, women, we just glow while we sleep.
I like that.
But that's a big part. And if we don't have a sleep environment that supports that in a healthy way, you know, our mattresses, why is the recommendation that we should replace our mattress every 8 to 10 years at least? Because they double in weight from all the things that we detox.
Say that again?
Yes, mattresses generally double in weight over their lifetime from everything that comes out of our bodies. You
Wow.
know, the perspiration, and this is a healthy part. Don't get me wrong, you do not want to stop sweating. Like when you go to the gym, you
Yeah.
want to get the toxins out. You know, this is a natural, normal process, but we can support it in a way where it doesn't soak into the mattress, where it absorbs and dissipates. So then we eliminate allergens, bed bugs, you know, all that kind of stuff. But when our sleep environment sets the healthy tone for our day, where we wake up in the morning and feel rejuvenated,
Mhm.
you know, one of the tips that I have, and I do work with sleep systems that actually help your body to be in that ultimate sleep environment with a cool head and a warm body. So that's a good thing to remember. And whenever you can, open the windows up while you sleep. Get the fresh outdoor air. In Germany, that's having open windows is a huge thing. Frische Luft, frische Luft. And but for some of us, like especially in South Florida, it's in the summer, it's just undoable.
Very hot. Yes.
So, you know, that is, and having a dark environment. Technology, try to have it away from your head while you sleep. Don't try to have electronics too much while you sleep.
Mhm.
One big thing that's a bit of a pet peeve for me is wearing the Fitbit type of technology or the the monitoring devices while we sleep. For me, it's off. Take it off. Some use it to monitor the sleep, but I think the electronic impact, the electronic radiation that we experience while we sleep and while we're wearing these devices all day long, it's a very, very important part to just take a break from that,
Mhm.
you know,
Right.
and really getting into the deep night sleep. And so I'm looking at,
Right, but if you need to, like, monitor, okay, what was my sleep last night, but not
mhm,
all the time.
not all the time. Do it when it's kind of like in an emergency. You emerge and see, but
Mhm.
it doesn't mean that you're using it all the time. You know, take a break from it and and kind of like find yourself a reset point. So as I'm looking into the home environment, looking how we start the day, refreshed, rejuvenated from our sleep. How does our sleep impact? And there is lots of little fine tuning that we can do, but you know, we're not going to go into a 4-hour seminar now. Then we look into what's the next step? How do we get up? How do we refuel the body? You know, what environment do we take a shower in? Again, the air and the water get filtered. So
Mhm.
use a filter for your home that makes the air rejuvenating, that makes the air crisp and cleaner, that takes the toxins out. The same from the shower to the drinking. You know, when we get up in the morning, drinking, refueling the body with some healthy water, first thing is so key. It kind of keys up the brain function, the organ function. It's really a great thing. And one of the tips around water, clients ask me all the time, well, how much water should we drink? A rule of thumb is half your body's weight in ounces. So let's say you are 120 pounds, then about 60 ounces of water. That's a half a gallon of water.
Mhm.
And how do we get that in? One of the tips I love, have a water bottle and use these little hair ties. Put them on and kind of, you know how much ounces is in your water bottle. And if you know you need to be drinking 5 a day, then as you drink the first one, you move it down and so on. So by the end of the day, you see, I wasn't so good today.
That's a great tip to do that.
And
Um,
also make sure you don't put it in all at one time. The body can only absorb about 4 ounces, which is two good gulps at a time.
I have a question around water because
Sure.
I love water and I drink lots of it. So yay for me on the water side. And some people say, well, I had iced tea or I had coffee or I had lemonade and there's water in all of that, or I had flavored water. Does it have to be just plain water or those other forms? Let's talk about that. You've heard that before too, right?
Mm, more than once.
Yeah.
I love my coffee in the morning, but that does not count. Coffee, teas are actually diuretics and can pull more water away. But let's peel one more layer away. Why do we drink water? It's not just to be flushed through. Water, it's not supposed to go right through your system. It's supposed to get into the cell, flush out the toxins we have in the cell, and rehydrate the body with healthy water. So tea and or juices do not count. Does that mean you should never have it? No, but recalculate your water intake. So if you go into the gym and you're perspiring more, living in Florida, we tend to have that a little bit more. And because of the humidity, we don't feel it as much. But yes, we might need to even up our water a little bit. And also think about this. By the time you feel thirsty, your body is already starting to dehydrate.
Wow. Wow. So that's a sign you went too far and too long without some water.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. All right. Well, we're coming up on the halfway point, Anja. So I want to give the opportunity to open up, ask some questions, and I know they'll have questions for you as well as want to know how you can help them thrive from home. So share how people can get in touch with you and some good next steps.
Sure, great. Yes, I'd love to connect more. You can tell I'm very passionate about this, doing this for myself and for my family and helping others to do the same, to make your home environment just the pristine thing, because health is the new wealth and home is where your health and wealth should thrive. And I'd love to continue conversation. You can reach out to me via my website, thrivefromhome.com. You can request a wellness home checklist or, schedule yourself for a free consultation with me and we can explore a little bit what your needs are, what your family's needs are, and let me help from there. You can also, if you want to direct email me, it's Anja, ANJA, at placeforhealing.com.
All right. So get in touch with Anja because as you can hear, she is an expert in interior design of our homes and our bodies and our spirit minds too. So thank you, Anja, for that generosity. So make sure everyone go to thrivefromhome.com and then you have a checklist on there, you said?
I have a free checklist for anybody here today. And also I put on there a free 20-minute consultation. So please take advantage of it. If we can empower one more person to be empowered, to be connected with themselves, their family, their home environment, then isn't that brilliant?
Mm-hmm. That is brilliant. And all it takes is one. And all it takes is us making small changes to make things better in our homes, for our health, for our wealth. Health is the new wealth. I love that you said that. Beautiful. So go to thrivefromhome.com. And if you want to connect with Anja directly, just email Anja at thrivefromhome.com. And that's Anja, ANJA. So let's go ahead. If you have questions or comments for Anja today on how you can thrive better from home, hit *6 on your phone or raise your hand if you're on the computer. If you're with us on Facebook, go ahead and put your question or comment in the feed for today's broadcast. And I see Peg Duchesne has her hand up. Good morning, Peg.
Good morning, Nancy. Thank you so much. Hi, Anja. What great information this morning. Thank you so much.
Thanks for being here.
Oh, my pleasure. And I love your quote, health is the new wealth. It's so true. I have a question about the water consumption.
Yes.
I know it's good to drink 2 8-ounce glasses before you even eat anything, right? And then what would be a good stopping time in the evening? Because I'm someone that wakes up in the middle of the night several times throughout the night, and I'm thinking, oh, I shouldn't have drank so much, but I need to get the, ounces in. What would you recommend in terms of a stopping time so that your body's not working overtime in the middle of the night?
Yes, great questions. So repeat your first question real quick, Peg. Sorry about that.
No, the first question was, I know it's recommended to drink 2 8-ounce glasses of water before you eat in the morning,
Yes.
right?
Well, perfect point. So here's the thing about drinking water. Yes, if you can get in some water in the morning right away, kind of cue up the organs, cue up the brain, that is super, super helpful. My belief around drinking water before you eat, not as much. Stop about 20 minutes before eating because you don't want to dilute all the digestion juices, if that makes sense. And
Okay.
then sip a little bit during dinner. Also, it's better to drink water at room temperature. I know in America, we're very fond of everything iced, but the body kind of needs to raise the temperature of the water you just put in there to digest it better. So my recommendation is not too much water before we eat, but in the morning, yes. If you can get in 8 to 16 ounces, maybe even a little bit more. But like I mentioned before, not all in one gulp.
Right.
You don't want to flood the kidneys and all that too much. You want it to be used in the body, if that makes sense. And in regards to the evening, that is such a great question. Okay, thanks for asking that, because a lot of people have concerns that, oh, if I'm drinking so much water, I'm going to be up all night. Well, the thing is, the water should be used to detox within the body. And at night, that's part of the process that the body is going through, doing all the hormonal balancing, doing the detoxing. So if we drink all the water at the end of the day, we're going to be up a little bit more. The stopping time, I don't know necessarily that I would say that there's a stopping time, but maybe by 6 o'clock in the evening, have most of your water intake in. But don't sit at 5 o'clock gulping down 2 bottles. You're running into the same thing. And the suggestion I made before, mark yourself somehow how you can get all the water in during the day. But by 6 o'clock, slow down, because I still will even drink a little bit of water right before I go to sleep, like a small glass of water. I believe it helps with heart health and everything while we sleep as well. Does that answer the question, Peg?
It did. And I totally agree with you about room temperature. I'm someone who doesn't like ice. I don't like cold. I, have water bottles sitting on my counter, and I have a tracking system as well. I love the sticker system that you just move it to the bottom of the bottle. But, however we track it, I tend to like room temperature as well. So I'm glad there's scientific evidence as to why I should like it that way. And good information all around, Anja. I look forward to downloading your checklist and learning more. Thanks so much.
Awesome. Thanks.
Thank you,
My
Peg.
pleasure.
Thank you, Peg, so much. And I, too, am a room temperature water girl. It's funny, when people come over my house, they say, what do you have to drink? And I was like, I have coffee, tea, water. Now you can have your water room temperature, refrigerated with ice. Like, there's a lot of variety.
Lots of choices.
And room temperature is best. And I love that too. Awesome. Thank you, Peg.
My pleasure.
Let's go next to Carol Leitner. Welcome, Carol.
Thank you, Nancy. Thank you, Anja. Great information. I really feel that Germans really have your fingers on the pulse of health. You really understand health in a deep way. So thank you for sharing. 2 things. I do lecture on hydration. It is a critical it's of critical importance for our health, not only physical, but emotional as well. And there are many books written by, the author is Dr. Batman Jalij. And if you just Google Batman, honestly, and hydration, one of his books is called You're Not Sick, You're Thirsty. And he goes through every bodily system and shows how a lack of water creates disease, can contribute to disease. So that's one thing I wanted to share. Secondly, I was also really impressed that you brought up the notion of monitors. I guess this is where you were going. I also researched electromagnetic radiation.
Mhm.
I don't feel that they're safe. And I was wondering if you had any comments on the amount of EMF that's being, or electron radiation that's being emitted from these Fitbits and, other monitors.
That is such a great point, Carol. Thank you for sharing that. And yes, there is so much more to what we can discuss in a half an hour or in an hour conversation. But this is just supposed to be the starting point, to kind of like a marble, kick the next marble off, so people can really take on some steps and do some research. Because the more educated you are about your own health, the more you can, and it's not educated from here. It's also a big part of intuition. And I think that's where the Fitbits and all that come in. We have become so allowing all these devices to know more about our health than our own intuition.
Ooh, that was a mic drop.
Love it. All these dangerous devices too.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, don't get me wrong. We're on a computer now. I love this is, for me, is a tool, and I love it. And I can do a FaceTime with my family in Germany and connect. But this is not the space I want to live. You know what I mean by that? So in regards to how much do all these devices radiate out, I don't know. There's a lot of dosage and all that, and each device is a little different. I just know we need to get much more back to grounding, being in nature, disconnected from all electronics, if that makes sense. Because our body kind of amps up with the charge. It has a certain charge on the body. And there's a lot of scientific research. You can research that on your own or reach out, but it's a lengthy conversation. But the kind of the how do you say, in a nutshell, it is our body gets so charged up with this electronic charge from the lights, from the computer. Anything that is plugged into the electricity has a charge on our body. And we need to get back to negative ions from nature, to the grounding from nature. It will help our body dispel and integrate and really, it's an experiential experience. If you ever heard of the concept of grounding, that's why we love being on the beach with the bare feet or walking in a forest, especially after a rain, because that creates negative ions in the air, and it helps our body even more, because our body works on a different electronic field than on a static field. Then the electricity that we use is, what do they call it? It goes on and off very quickly. So it's disrupting to our body. And there's a lot of science to it. Do some research or reach out to me.
I have. Just really briefly, what it does is the toxins cannot get out of the cells and the nutrients cannot get in. So
I see a collaboration happening between these.
Yes, definitely reach out.
Okay, sure. Thank you for your great information.
Awesome, Carol. Thank you.
And let me just mention, some of you are having an issue with the link to the website. So what I've done is made two suggestions. Number one, In the chat, I have put the link directly to the calendar where you can schedule your time with Anja. And in order to get the checklist, just email Anja at thrivefromhome.com. I'm not sure what the issue with the link is, but this is how you get there. We always make it happen. All right. Thank you, Carol. Let's go next to Olivia Jones.
Good morning again, Nancy. I missed, this is so wonderful because I have actually been redoing my home, and I had someone come in to help me to kind of, I guess, create a better energy. And she gave a great analogy about a conveyor belt, how we have to think of our home as a conveyor belt in terms of what we bring in and how it passes through the home and then as it goes out. And as a result of that analogy, it has been such a feeling of lightness, a feeling of like really breakthrough and freedom. So it was amazing as you were also sharing, Anja, about the mattress. I missed a little bit, but do you mind just repeating that? Because my sister has had her mattress for forever. And I was just thinking, I was like, I think she needs to change her mattress. And you said it weights down, it's toxic, it impacts the way that you rest as well.
Absolutely. Thanks for asking. That's a great question, because sleep is really where we rejuvenate our body. You know, the better, the healthier we sleep, the better we rejuvenate. And all the stress that the body processes, all the stresses that we have during the day. If you don't sleep 3 consecutive nights in a row, your immune system is cut in half. And think about all the concerns that we have with the last 2 years with the whole pandemic and our children being in school environments and us being in work environments. Our immune systems need to be at their best. You know, that's I call, when Daniel was really little, our son, I would call it the immune systems are the ninjas of your body. That's your defense system. And sleep is a key part of that. So in regards to mattresses, yes, you want to have a mattress that is firm enough to support your body and your spinal column. You know, we've also run a chiropractic wellness center. So the spine, the nervous system, the immune system is a big part of what we do and the education for our clients. So you want a mattress that supports your body while you sleep. Coil mattresses, you know, the old-fashioned spring mattresses often create pressure points around the shoulder area, the knee, the hips. Any of you can relate, like, oh, why do I get up and my hip hurts so much? We don't really want to create the pressure points, but when you're looking into foam-based mattresses, there's also a lot of outgassing of toxins because the way the mattresses are manufactured with formaldehydes and things. And I see this a lot. Even if any of you have babies or you have grandbabies, often the mattresses for baby cribs are doused in formaldehydes and toxins to make them flame retardant. Mm-hmm. And, you know, that when we sleep, our body warms that stuff up, and then we start breathing it in while we sleep. So there's a lot of concerns, you know, reach out to me for specifics and I'll be able to help. But in a nutshell, yes, you definitely want to have a mattress that supports your frame, so to say, so you can be rejuvenated.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Olivia. And Carol asked in the chat how two things related to sleep and mattresses. Is it important to buy an organic one? And how often should we replace our mattresses?
Yeah, if you can go organic, of course. You know, you don't have all the chemicals in there, and that is really best. I work with an organic type of topper that uses bamboo fiber. So if you can't go all the way organic, because for some people it's a cost factor, definitely. And how often should they be replaced? It really depends on the mattress system. But yeah, mattresses are not meant to last 20 years by any means. And, looking at certain fibers that are more natural based, bamboo fibers. Bamboo fibers by nature are antimicrobial, antiviral. So right there, that's a good solution as well.
You actually touched upon my follow-up question. And what about toppers? So for example, on my mattress right now, I have a thick topper because the mattress itself wasn't so comfortable. So I got one of those foam toppers. Does that prolong the life of the mattress? How often should we change those?
Yeah, it can definitely prolong the life of the mattress. And it's also, there is toppers that have other things in them, like the bamboo fibers, all of that. And I work with a system that also use far infrared, negative ions, magnetics to support all of that. The cushiony foam toppers, it really depends on the type of quality there is, because there is a lot of them that use natural fibers again. And it doesn't need to be synthetic foam. It can also be a natural type of rubber thane material that is made from natural rubber rather than chemical or petroleum-based products. And yes, they can prolong the life of the mattress, and they can also make you feel more comfortable and more supported. Absolutely.
I want to look into those toppers you have for sure.
It's funny when even your spouse says, "Ooh, I love traveling, but I'm always happy when we sleep in our own bed."
Yeah.
Again, our home is our sanctuary. That's where our health and wealth should thrive.
Love it. Love it. All right. Again, go to Thrive from Home. And I know there was an issue with the link there. So just email Anja at thrivefromhome.com. And for everybody who is here with us on the telephone, while we take the next question, I'm going to get you a short link to make it easy for you to book your call with Anja so you can get solutions for thriving from your home. Let's go to Mary Jane.
Good morning, Anja. This is fascinating. Thank you for being here. I'm changing the topic of going back to family dinners. My observations, I now live alone. My son's in Seattle, but I made a point when he was a little boy that Sunday was different from the rest of the week. And luckily his father was in the fold as well. So there were, we grew up with family dinners. So this was almost an automatic. And as life went on, that is one basic premise he will always have. And it's interesting because I still do somewhat. I'm new to this area, but when I lived where I lived formerly, I always had company. And it was more or less in the same form of a Sunday dinner. Not fancy. Sometimes I'd pull everything out. I love to entertain. But just to have people around who understand the value of a dinner. And we traded stories, and you learned more about people than you did when you went out to a restaurant. Because we have familiar hangings around the room. I have my grandfather's saloon in Brooklyn in 1906. It's right out of Cheers. And people are like, oh my goodness. I said, think of who else his grandfather is, or great-grandfather is in this picture. So, I mean, it's delightful, but it's the embodiment of you're never alone. You have memories. You can recreate your world to match it. Just continue the tradition. It's not a matter of money. It's a matter of make your family where you are.
Love that.
I love that, Mary Jane. Thank you so much for sharing that. And you know what? It is not, yes, I'm a big believer in eat as organic as you can, and the different food styles that people are into. It's ultimately none of that. With family dinner, that is really about the connection with the food we eat, with the time we take, with the people we're around. And there is many people right now in the situation that they will be eating alone. Make it special. Cook your favorite meal and just really, it's almost like, for me, it's a little bit about pouring the love in as you prepare it, as you cook it, as you enjoy it, the conversation that you have stimulating conversations. You know, for us, it always starts with what went really great today.
Yes.
And what did really not go so good, you know, and it becomes like, oh, this could have gone. And then it becomes a conversation, and the connection is just so brilliant. For me, when there is times when I'm home alone, I sometimes cook the best meals just for me, because I try, you know, I love to eat, and I love, but for me, cooking is like painting with food. It's a whole experience. And we can pull in, even when we have little kids. It doesn't, yes, some days, don't get me wrong. I know I've been there as a mom, and things are frantic, and there's so much to do, and the day is not long enough, and it takes so much time and all that. But it's just really in just when you do make it special, make it special. Because if nothing else, it's to the connection with you yourself. And when you are refueled and healthy and feeling vibrant, then you can share that with others. Because you can't give when your watering can is empty. You know, we go and water everybody, even if we're not a mom, but we go out to the community giving. As women, we tend to do that more, because that's our essence, to nurture, to nourish. And when we constantly give to others, our family, and at the end of the day, our watering can is empty, we need to remember, refuel here first. In an airplane, when the mask comes down, you know what they tell you? Put it on yourself first.
Right.
Because if you don't give to yourself, you cannot give to anybody else. Otherwise, it has with layers of resentment. But when you are fueled and whole and complete with yourself, you can give that to everybody freely.
It's a matter of self-care from where
Yes.
I sit. It
Absolutely.
goes really deep that way.
Yes.
Thank you, Mary Jane.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, and I'm so glad you're here and, you know, bringing up such a vital part of our conversation today. Thank you, my friend. All right, let everyone know who's here on the phone with us. Get a pen or jot this down in your notes, wherever you do that, on your phone or whatever it is. I created a quick link to make it easy for you to book your time with Anja, so that you can thrive from your home with her guidance. So what you'll want to do is go to bit.ly/book Anja. So that's BOOKANJA, bit.ly/book Anja, all one word, all connected. So head over there and make sure that you grab some time with this wonderful woman who is here to support you on so many levels. And we should have time for one more caller. Let me go to Sonia.
Yes, I had a question, and yes, so beautiful subject. Very crazy about health in general, and I really appreciated what you say about, yes, it would be amazing to eat organic food, but the energy that we put in the food is the most important part. So my question was for you, because I couldn't be on the whole time. There was a couple of things I missed. Is what do you do as consultant for someone who feels that their health could be improved? What is the service itself that you provide for the people who get into your call, to say there is a way to reach you and get in contact with you, but what do you do once somebody book you? What is the process that you go through? Don't give me the details, but just, whatever, because that's the part I miss in the presentation.
Sure. Thank you for asking. What a great question. The process really is, I kind of individualize it for the person or the family's needs, because not everybody is going to have the same needs. So I bring my expertise in, and it might be around, the concerns might be around the air. Everybody is allergic and, has brain fog going on. The concern might be around, I have this constant weight gain. I lose a little and then I gain double more back. So, and it's not all around one issue. It's never just around the food. It's never just around the sleep. You know what I mean? So we're really looking in the consultation, and I might even send a little bit of a questionnaire to the person saying, hey, give me some key highlights. What are your concerns right now? So we can really focus in the 20 minutes of our time, give them truly some value that they can step away with. I work with amazing product lines that I time tested, that I've done a lot of research. I've been in the health and wellness field for 29 years. And I bring expertise in that is just too much to give even in an hour. So I really focus in, I ask great questions to my clients, and I really listen, because sometimes it's not really the concern they voice first. It's like what's under there. You know what I mean by that?
I bet she does. Great question, Sonia.
Thank you so much. I love your content. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
She's amazing, Sonia, right? So good. So good. All right, my friend, we're at the top of the hour. I want to thank you for following your guidance, your intuition, for bringing us solutions so that we can all thrive from home. Any final tip or suggestion for our audience today?
You hear, I bring my passion. I kind of talk with my heart on my sleeve. It's really about more people being empowered and listening to themselves. We are all our own experts. And then when we listen to experts, we can say, oh, this nugget of wisdom is right for me. Because if you listen to all the experts and all the books and all the magazines, and every expert is going to give you a different opinion. You just need to find what rings true to you. And I help my clients find solutions for that. What rings true to them. And that's the most way of empowered, thriving living, because I'm a big believer in all of us living our most ideal, healthy, thriving lives now. And if I can support you in that, that's my love. This is what I love to do, to connect with people, give them solutions, give them options, and empower them in their own health and wealth wisdom.
Beautiful, beautiful. And you do it so well, my friend. So thank you for joining us today and dropping all these nuggets of wisdom that we can then say, this one's for me, this one's for me, and reach out and book your session with Anja. Go to bit.ly/book Anja. Get out there, my friends. Make this a thriving from home, thriving from wherever you are, wow kind of day. And we'll see you again next week. Bye, Anja. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nancy. This was awesome.
Bye, everyone.